Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Are both sides ready to proceed?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ready to bring in the jury? Okay. Well, Mr. Holman. He's checking them in.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to do our appearances, Judge?
Yes, please.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Dreiser. I'm here with my client, Mr. Fernandez, alongside Mr. Hill, Miss Day, and Miss Nepstad.
Thank you. Ms. State.
Morning, Your Honor. Christina Stifler and Alan Mizrahi on behalf of the state.
All right. Thank you. Come in. All right. Welcome in, members of the jury. Everyone may be seated. All right, welcome back. We are in the fourth day of the trial. To remind you where we are, we had paused Detective
John.
Mr. Detective John's testimony to allow other witnesses to testify with scheduling issues. And so Mr. Dreiser is going to continue his cross-examination. However, before he does and before I ask Detective Johns to come back in, would you all answer out loud? Did everyone follow the communication rules?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's call Detective Johns forward, please. Good morning, Detective. If you could walk all the way forward again. Since we have gone over a night's recess, I'm going to ask that you retake the oath.
Detective, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Make yourself comfortable. All right, you may proceed.
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again.
As well.
All right, because there was a little bit of a gap, I'm going to bring us to February 15th of 2022. That's the day before the homicide of Jared Brightigan.
Okay.
All right. Detective, we talked yesterday about certain dates that you believed had an evidentiary value that you provided to Agent Blythe. Do you recall that?
Yes.
January 5th, January 25th, January 29th, and then another one of those dates. In fact, the next date was February 15th, 2022, right? Okay. Without going into all the specifics, you are familiar with these slides. We've talked about them before, and you worked with the FBI to create these slides, correct?
Yes.
All right. So on this particular day, what you do know is that Mr. Fernandez went in the morning over to the Potomac address, correct?
Correct.
And he stayed there for 20 or 30 minutes and he left, correct?
Correct.
And you have no evidence that on that morning of that day, in fact, you have evidence that Henry Tennant was not there. He was working at Modison Pallets that day.
According to the geolocation, yes.
Sure, and that's what we're working with these maps. We're working with cell site and geolocation, correct?
Correct.
And the geolocation put Henry Tenen at Modest and Pallets and Mr. Fernandez at the home, right?
Yes.
And I'm certainly not going to rehash all the poll camera that I painstakingly went through yesterday, but we know from the poll camera that Mr. Fernandez would go to Potomac in the morning. We saw that several times, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then moving along to slide 35, page 35, do you see that, Detective?
Yes.
That shows, again, that Mr. Fernandez on that day went back to the Potomac address, right?
That's correct.
And on that day, again, consistent with what we saw yesterday, that's not inconsistent with other times that we were actually able to see on the poll camera that Mr. Fernandez would go back later in the afternoon, right?
It just shows that he was at the residence at that time.
Twice that day.
Yes.
And I guess to ask a better question, we learned yesterday that is not inconsistent that Mr. Fernandez would go to the rental property 2 times in one day.
Correct.
During both instances on February 15th, you have no evidence that Mr. Fernandez gave anybody a firearm, correct?
No, there's no physical evidence to suggest that.
You have no physical evidence that Mr. Fernandez received a firearm from anybody, correct?
That's correct.
And you have no idea what Mr. Fernandez did while he was at the Potomac address.
Also correct.
You don't know if he was brooming the driveway, bringing construction materials, meeting an air conditioner person. You just don't know.
No.
Moving along to February 16th, the day of the homicide, okay? You agree that Henry Tenen arrived in, I'm sorry, at the very late hours of February 15th, moving into February 16th, you know that Mr. Fernandez went over to John Biggerstaff's house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this is the one that I talked about briefly yesterday where we don't have to guess what Mr. Fernandez was doing there because he was caught on a video. When I say caught, you found in a cellular download a video of Mr. Fernandez performing a sexual act that was found by your investigative team, correct?
Yes.
So we know at least something that he was doing there that night, correct?
Correct.
You don't have any evidence that he was giving anybody a firearm, meaning Mr. Fernandez giving anybody at that Biggerstaff residence a firearm, do you?
No.
You have no evidence that he was receiving a firearm, do you?
There's no physical evidence of that now.
And on any audio that was recorded, you don't hear anything about a discussion of a firearm, correct?
No.
Moving along to February 16th in the evening on the night of the homicide, you have evidence to believe that Mr. Henry Tenen got into Jack's Beach somewhere around 6:25 p.m., right?
That's correct.
And you know that from the Taco Lou surveillance.
Correct.
Okay. And this is the night, and we've already heard from Corporal Wallace, but on this night there's surveillance from businesses, correct?
Yes.
There's police surveillance, correct?
Yes.
There's Ring doorbell footage, right?
Yes.
And there's other people's personal security videos that you were able to collect to put into evidence to sort of piece this crime together, correct?
Yes.
Okay. At any point prior to the homicide, do you have any surveillance putting Mr. Fernandez anywhere near that F-150?
No.
You don't have a single eyewitness that says that Mr. Fernandez was in that F-150, do you?
No, there's no eyewitnesses.
And in this case, I think you told the jury on direct examination that there were thousands of Crime Stoppers types tips that came into your agency?
I don't know if the word thousands was used, but there were a lot, a significant amount.
I agree, that wasn't you, but there were thousands, weren't there?
I don't remember the specific number, or there were a lot of them. I don't remember how many.
So we can agree there were a lot.
Yes.
And people would just call you and say, I saw that similar looking truck at Home Depot.
Yes.
And that wasn't much of a lead, right?
No.
But the community was aware that law enforcement was looking for evidence associated with a blue two-tone Ford F-150, right?
It would seem like there were at least some portion of the community that was aware, yes.
Right. And that's why they would call to give you information, correct?
Yes.
And there's not a single witness that's going to take the stand who called Crime Stoppers and said, I saw a person matching Mr. Fernandez's description in that F-150 that night, correct?
That's correct.
And there's not a single person that said, I saw an F-150 similar to that description parked near Mr. Fernandez's residence that night, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 91. See what that is? I just need one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you. While we're looking for a video that the state's put into evidence, the Ford F-150 was caught on Jack's Beach surveillance prior to the homicide, correct?
Yes.
And it's driving right past the police station toward the area of Pablo Hamlet, correct?
That's correct.
And because it's prior to the homicide, we know it's around 7 p.m. when that happens. We'll see the exact time in a moment, but it's around 7, right?
Correct.
Okay. And this is Jack's Beach on a Wednesday night early in the evening, right?
Yes.
There are people walking on the sidewalks.
The area where the truck was is not a super populated area. It's kind of, but there, yes, there were people walking on the sidewalks.
Okay, let's look at it. Take your time. I'm showing you what's been already placed into evidence as Exhibit 91. You're familiar with this particular clip, aren't you, Detective Johns?
Yes, sir.
Okay, push play. You say the blue truck passed by?
Yes, sir.
And just in that one tiny clip, did you see 7 people walking on the sidewalk that passed that truck?
I didn't count how many people, but there were people walking by.
Did you take my word for it that there were 7?
Seems about 7 people.
There was a group in front, then there was another group, and then there was a jogger, right?
Yes.
And they were walking within, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet of that truck, correct?
Yes.
So no reason to believe that at that night, at that time, it wasn't like, well, no one reported it because no one saw that blue truck. Plenty of people, by just that small clip, had their eyes on that truck, whether they were paying attention or not, correct?
I can't say what they were. We're not looking at.
You can say, though, that that truck passed people in Jack's Beach that evening.
Yes, it did.
You can say from your many, many years as a patrol officer and a detective in Jack's Beach that Jack's Beach on a Wednesday at around 6:50 is an active area.
Yes, it is.
There's dog parks that are open, right?
I think they close when the sun goes down, and it's pretty dark at that moment.
Maybe so. That area has parks and baseball fields and sidewalks, and there's private businesses and gyms and bowling alleys. That's the area that we're talking about, right?
The area that you're referring to, yes. The area, this is a little bit west of that.
And maybe a few hundred yards. I'm talking about that area.
Yes.
Okay. At the scene, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I think I've asked you, there's no physical evidence that puts Mr. Fernandez at that scene.
No, there's not.
There's no DNA,
No.
no eyewitnesses,
No.
no surveillance.
No.
Now, you do know that Mr. Fernandez is home at midnight because law enforcement went to his house around midnight and he was there.
Yes.
No dispute as to that fact.
No.
And you have no evidence that Mr. Fernandez was ever outside of his home after 5:45 p.m. on the night of the homicide, correct?
Do you mind if I check my timesheet real quick?
Sure. You can check it. Any piece of evidence that you think will help establish that Mr. Fernandez was outside of his home after 5:45 p.m.
There is no physical evidence that puts him outside of his home.
Now let's talk about Henry Tenen for a moment. He gets to Jack's Beach around 6:25, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to try to simplify this, but if you think I'm oversimplifying it, please tell me, and I'll direct you to your notes where we can really pin this down. So we're going to talk about Henry Tenen's phones. You're familiar with Henry Tenen's phones?
Yes.
That was a big part of your investigation.
Yes.
Henry Tenen, for whatever reason, he had 4 phones, correct?
That's correct.
And one of the phones was associated with a number that he gave to his daughter that was on his plan, correct?
Yes.
And we can assume for the purposes of this conversation that doesn't really have any evidentiary value to this case, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Then there's another phone that Mr. Tenen gave to his girlfriend, or I guess, can we call Peanut his girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay. And Peanut's name is Janie Deal,
Yes.
but she goes by Peanut.
That's correct.
And in this case, Peanut had one of the phones. That's what your investigative efforts led you to believe, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's some evidence in this case that Mr. Tenen calls Peanut on the night of the homicide, right?
Yes.
So different than the daughter, there is some connection that we can talk about with Mr. Tenen and Peanut, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
All right, I'll get to that later.
Okay.
Mr. Tenen, on the night of the homicide, you know he brought with him 2 phones, or at least there were 2 phones with him when he came into Jack's Beach and past Taco Lu, right?
Yes.
All right. And this is where I'm going to try to simplify it. You know by way of looking at the phones, and each phone has a unique identification number, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were able to determine that one phone with one unique identification number stayed with Mr. Tenen on the night of the homicide, correct?
Yes.
And we refer to that phone as Tenen 2, correct?
Correct.
And just to give the jury some idea how you were to do that investigative effort, because that unique identification number to the Tenen 2 phone had geolocation, right?
Yes.
And because you were able to match up Mr. Tenen walking that night on surveillance, you were able to determine by the times of the surveillance, looking at the surveillance, and then looking at the cell phone, that Mr. Tenen was in possession of Tenen 2.
Yes, that's correct.
Then, the other phone, Tenen 1, right?
Yes.
You were able to determine that had a different and unique identification number, right?
Correct.
And you know that during that night that those 2 phones separated, correct?
That's correct.
No dispute as to that.
No.
And the reason that we know that is because after the homicide, Tenen 2 would call Tenen 1, correct?
Yes.
Sometimes the phones appeared.
Excuse me.
Take your time. You need a second? Some
Okay.
water?
No.
At some point, you know that they separated by way of geolocation, correct?
Yes.
And then you know that Tenen 2 called Tenen 1 post the homicide, right?
That's correct.
And common sense would tell us you wouldn't call the 2 phones if they weren't together, right?
Correct.
Okay. And in this particular case, you also were to determine that Tenen 2 and Tenen 1 were separated by way of geolocation, right?
That's correct.
At one point, you know that 10 and 2, around 9:15, is over by the police station because we see 10 and walking by the police station, right?
That's correct.
And you can match that with the geolocation because the phone was turned on at that moment, right?
Yes.
And at that exact time, you have previously said that you believe 10 and 1 was somewhere pinging over by Mojo's, correct?
In the area of Mojo's or Pablo Hamlet area.
Okay.
I'll let Agent Blythe get into the specifics of that because there can be variations.
Fair enough. But the one thing you know, and Corporal Wallace has previously testified to, is that Pablo Hamlet had surveillance all the time, right?
Yes, it does.
And you don't have any surveillance of the Ford F-150 at Pablo Hamlet anytime around 9:15, correct?
There is some surveillance of the truck coming back to Pablo Hamlet, and then it moves into what we believe is the gravel parking lot. But after that, no.
Let's break that down. You know that the phone, excuse me, not the phone, the truck pulls into Pablo Hamlet at approximately 8 p.m., correct?
I'm just going to refer to my sheet roll here.
Please.
Yep, exactly 8 p.m.
Right. And then it pulls right out, correct?
It pulls forward. I wouldn't say that it pulls out.
It goes out of frame. It drives
It does
down.
go out of frame, yes.
I mean, it drives all the way until you can't see it anymore.
That's correct.
When I said it pulls out of Pablo Hamlet. It's no longer at Pablo Hamlet. It's no longer by the smoking pavilion. It's no longer in that little cul-de-sac. It is no longer by that retirement house.
Correct.
And at that point, you have no idea where that blue truck went.
We have some idea, but we don't know where it went from the next place.
You don't have it on surveillance, according to Corporal Wallace. You disagree with Corporal Wallace?
I wasn't here for his testimony.
Okay, I'm going to represent to you that he told the jury that he does not know where the truck went after it pulled out of Pablo Hamlet. And the jury will, if I'm saying it truthfully, the jury will determine whether that was said or not said.
Okay, I'll sustain it.
Can you show me where the truck went after 8 p.m., Detective Johns?
It appears to me that the truck makes a right into the gravel lot at the Discovery School on the last frame.
Let's watch that. This may take a second because I wasn't expecting to do that. I'd like to watch it with you. Let's pause it. Hey, Detective Johns, you see this video?
Yes, sir.
For the record, this was part of States 91, the compilation video, and it's also in evidence. It's part of 91, and it's also in evidence as an individual clip. I just can't reference it, Judge. I'll put that on the record later.
Okay.
This is not an unfamiliar video to you.
No, sir.
This is the exact video we were just talking about. 203. Thank you, Ms. Stifler. Okay? But nonetheless, that's for the record. You know this video.
Yes, sir.
And just to refresh the jury's recommendation, we both have been talking that the truck returned at 8 p.m. but you and I both know, and the jury's heard before, that the Pablo Hamlet camera appears to be about 17 minutes fast.
That's correct.
We both agree to that.
Yes.
So when the video clip I'm showing you is from 2/16/2022 at 8:16:25, this would be right around 8 p.m.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's push play. While we're waiting for the truck to pull in, Detective, can you see a gravel lot anywhere in this video?
No, you cannot.
So the gravel lot that you're telling me that you think you can see the truck pull into, you acknowledge you cannot see in this video.
That's correct. You cannot.
Okay. Okay, Detective, do you see the truck?
Yes, sir.
That's the truck you believe is the truck that Mr. Tenen, that he owned, or his father owned, the F-150?
That's correct.
It appears to turn around and drive away. And then you see it make a right-hand turn and go out of frame, and it's moving, correct?
That's correct.
You never see that truck stop, correct?
No, you don't.
So when you just told the jury that you think it went up and it pulled into a gravel rock road, you've acknowledged you can't see a gravel rock road in the video, right?
That's correct.
And you just acknowledged that you never saw that truck stop, correct?
That's correct.
So you have no idea if that truck stopped in a gravel road.
I think based upon where,
All right, re-ask it, okay?
Okay, so it's okay. I don't have he answered my question.
I'm not sure if they heard. That's why I'm asking you re-ask it.
My question was, you can't see a gravel rock driveway in the video, correct, Detective Johns?
no, you cannot see it in the video.
And you never see the Ford F-150 stop in the video, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. At some point, 10-1 and 10-2, the two phones turn back on.
Yes,
And when they do, they're both back near the Potomac address.
that's correct.
So reason to believe that whoever was with tenants 1 and 2, they go back to Potomac. Well, the
Yes.
phones go back to
Yes.
Potomac. I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate it. That's where, at some point in time, 10-1 and 10-2 were in Jack's Beach. We agreed on that.
Correct.
10-1 and 10-2 separated. We agreed on that, correct?
Correct.
And then sometime later in the night, you tell me, I think it's around 11, 10-1 and 10-2 appear to be back in the Potomac area.
Correct.
But you know that Mario Fernandez is home after 11 because law enforcement saw him there, correct?
That's correct.
And you don't have a single shred of evidence to believe that Mr. Fernandez ever was at Potomac that night.
No.
You did speak with Ms. Brightigan that night at the police station?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This was not recorded.
That's correct.
You did tell the jury a couple days ago that everyone's a suspect until they're not a suspect, correct?
That's correct.
There is no way for you to know whether Ms. Brightigan was a suspect at that point in time when you spoke to her.
You're right. Correct.
And yet you chose just not to record it because you told the jury I was giving her bad news, so I didn't think we should do that, essentially, right?
That's correct.
When you spoke to the Brightigan brothers, you recorded those interviews, correct?
Yes.
They were audio recorded and video recorded.
Yes.
On the night of the homicide, you did inquire as to whether Ms. Brightigan had life insurance on Mr. Brightigan?
I don't remember that. It was that evening, but yes, we did ask.
Okay. And you found out that Ms. Brightigan benefited.
Grounds. Let me see you at sidebar for the, if you have a response.
Madam Court Reporter? Through your investigation, you learned that Ms. Brightigan did receive life insurance, correct?
Yes,
And that was important for you to determine what that was because you were trying to investigate and find out any and all information you could about this homicide. Fair enough?
yes,
You didn't just speak to Ms. Brightigan that night at the police station. You spoke to her many, many times throughout this investigation, correct?
that's correct.
And regardless of what you were talking about, life insurance, her location, anything that you were investigating, you never one time did it in a recorded or videotaped setting.
The only time she was ever at the police station in the soft room was the first night. Every other time we ever met with her, it would have been out in the field or it would have been through a phone call.
Because maybe that's where you chose to meet her. That was a decision you all made. When you asked Mr. Fernandez to come in, you asked him to come into the police station, right?
Yes,
You asked him to come into a room that had a couch and a camera in it, right?
yes.
You controlled that setting. You and Detective Lamont, right?
We asked him to come in and he agreed.
And you turned the camera on.
Yes,
You could have turned the camera on when you met with Ms. Brightigan if you asked her to come to the police station, right?
correct.
She was cooperative with your investigation, is what you said, right?
Yes,
So if you asked her to come to the police station, you have no reason to believe she wouldn't have.
no,
Then you could have asked your questions in a recorded room if you wanted to, right?
yes,
And you didn't in this case.
no.
All right, I'm going to move to October 6, 2022. We're going to make a big jump. That's the day that the Potomac Avenue home was searched by law enforcement, correct?
Yes,
All right. Can I get some help with these boots, Mr. Hill? Grab them. Can I?
You want to set them somewhere?
Can I sit them on top of the tire? Yes. Thank you. You okay with that, Your Honor?
Yes.
Blocking the court reporter.
Ms. Simpkins, are you okay?
It's okay. I'm going to find a spot for him.
Mr. Holman, can we use that table over there? Okay.
Is this okay, Alan, or is it blocking you? Here we go. We'll get to it. Those boots were found at the Potomac address.
yes,
Those boots don't have any DNA on them, do they?
I'm sure they might have some somewhere.
All right, let me ask you a better question. You can't associate those boots with anything at the crime scene, correct?
Correct.
It's just that you think that maybe those were the boots that Mr. Tennant was wearing when you look at that grainy surveillance. That's how you came up with the fact that those could be the boots, correct?
They appear to match the boots in the video.
Just so the jury's clear, it's all the videos that they've seen of Mr. Henry Tennant walking through Jack's Beach.
Sorry?
It's the videos that the jury has already seen of Henry Tennant walking through Jack's Beach. That's the videos that you're relying on to determine that those are the boots, correct?
Yes, sir.
You never found a footprint that you could match to the bottom or the soles of those boots to say, yep, those match the boots that we framed and put before this jury, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. There's no biological evidence like Mr. Brightigan's blood on those boots, correct?
Correct.
There's no biological evidence that you guys decided to frame this jacket that connects this jacket to the homicide scene, correct? Or this sweatshirt?
Correct.
Okay. And the reason I said jacket is because originally you guys, law enforcement and your investigators, you framed another jacket.
Correct. Okay. I'm going to ask that you step into the jury room for about, I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? All right, please let the record reflect that the jury has left the courtroom. Everyone may be seated. All right, Detective, Mr. Dreiser is going to ask you a series of questions. It's called a proffer. That means that this line of question may or may not go in front of the jury. So if the court rules that it's admissible, you may have to answer them again, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Dreiser, you may proceed.
Detective Johns, did you help in the preparation of the state's case and getting prepared for trial?
To what degree?
You met with the state, you went over your questions, talked about the evidence?
Yes.
Yeah. And in this case, there was a wax canvas jacket, like a welder's jacket or something?
Yes.
That was that jacket was originally framed, correct?
I actually never saw that.
You don't know that there was a welder's jacket that was framed?
No.
You never went into the conference room and saw that?
The only exhibits I have seen in the conference room or that I recall seeing are the ones that are here.
And no one ever told you, or you never participated in the preparation of choosing the welder's jacket to be framed over this sweater?
No.
No further questions, Judge.
Any questions by the state? Let me see you all at sidebar. Mr. Holman, can you see if the jury is ready to come back in? Can y'all move that jacket, please? Oh, you are? Okay. It was leaned up against it. I don't want them walking in with the evidence leaned up against it. So put it wherever you want it, just not on.
It wasn't in a good spot, but I am still using it.
All right.
Thanks, Alan. Oh, trash can kick. And DUIs, I count on the prosecutors doing that. What, right there is fine. What's wrong with that? Oh.
Thank you. Don't put it back there. It's in the way of like walking towards the stand, okay?
You should have let you pull up the photos. Let's go over the boots. The jacket's up. Just use the jacket.
It doesn't, it's just as easy.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Everyone may be seated. Mr. Dreiser.
Detective Johns, can we agree that, again, this particular sweatshirt was found at Potomac?
Yes.
This particular sweatshirt, you believe, by looking at the same video that's been submitted into evidence to this jury, you can identify this particular jacket by looking at that particular surveillance video?
Yes.
And you feel confident that looking at that, you can determine it's this particular sweatshirt?
The video seems to match the jacket that is there.
Can you see that jacket?
Yes, sir.
That was also found at Potomac?
Yes, it was.
And you believe you can definitively tell from looking at that surveillance that it's not that jacket, it's that jacket?
I believe that to be the jacket that was in the video surveillance.
Just so we're clear, it's only because you look at it. That's the only way you believe it. You have no other evidence to believe that that's the jacket.
No.
Let's look at some boots. These boots were found at Potomac?
Yes.
And you believe by looking at the surveillance video that's in evidence that you can tell it's those boots that are framed and not these boots?
Certainly not those boots.
You don't think it's those boots?
No.
Okay, let me show you another pair of boots that was found. How about these boots? Could it be these boots?
I don't believe so.
Why don't you believe so?
If you look at him walking and you see the tongue of the flap of the boots, it's more consistent with those boots versus the ones that are on the screen.
And I just want to make sure when you're talking about the analysis that you're doing, you're looking at the video that's been submitted in evidence. There's no other videos that you're looking at.
There's no other videos.
And you can tell by the tag of those boots different from the tag of these boots.
Tongue. I'm talking about the tongue.
Tongue of those boots compared to the tongue of these boots. That's your testimony.
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you another pair of boots. One boot that was found is one of the boots that the government framed, right?
Yes.
But it's next to another pair of boots that were found at Potomac because they're found in the exact same spot, correct?
That's correct.
And you can tell that it's not those boots.
I don't believe them to be those boots, no.
And so the record's clear. There's a pair of a black boot next to the boot that's framed in the courtroom.
That's correct.
Let me show you another pair of boots. When Mr. Tennant's vehicle was recovered, you see those boots?
Yes.
And you don't believe those could be the boots?
No.
And why don't you believe those could be the boots, Detective? They're the same color, roughly tan construction boots, correct?
Yes.
They were found in Mr. Tennant's vehicle that you guys believe is associated with Mr. Tennant, the Ford F-150, right?
Yes, sir.
These boots have a long tongue, just like the boots in the courtroom, correct?
Kind of hard to see the tongue in the photo.
Can you see the tongue in this
Yes.
long tongue?
Yes.
It's just not folded out like the ones that are framed in the courtroom, correct?
That's correct.
And it's still your testimony that you think, looking at that video that's been given to the jury, that you can tell that those are the boots and that's the jacket by looking at the surveillance in which has been submitted to this jury.
Those boots are most consistent with what the video shows.
Consistent with, but not necessarily the exact ones, correct?
I can't say for certain they're the exact boots.
Mr. Dreiser, when you're referring to the photos, if you could say the exhibit number.
Yes, I'm sorry. I've been referring to a sweatshirt type jacket with you during my testimony, Detective Johns, that I'm holding that is, can I just pull it out? States 128. And the boots are,
I think it's a little drawer there at the bottom.
I'll just look at the list. If you just give me a
It
minute.
just pulls out there at the bottom.
Pulls out.
They're not, sorry.
This.
Thought it did.
Oh, I don't want to mess your evidence. I see the bag. I just don't want to mess it up. 129 for the record. The boots that we've been discussing that I keep saying are in the courtroom versus the other boots are 129. We can agree with that, right?
Yes.
It's on the base of that, Mr. Dreiser. It's on the base that you took it off of.
Base. And in 168, this is the box, a box of boots that were found at Potomac, correct?
Yes.
And you're certain that this box goes to those boots? They weren't found in this box, right?
I cannot say definitely that those are the same exact boots that go in the box.
And actually, if you know this, it's my understanding that this box was not found where those boots were found. Those boots were found at Potomac, and this box was found in the Ford F-150.
Yes.
So it would be more consistent with the photo of the boots that I showed you in the F-150, because that's where the box was found, correct?
Those boots don't seem to match the picture on the box, but I'm not a shoe expert.
You're not a shoe expert?
No.
Okay. Hold on. And then lastly, I want to show you another jacket that was found at Potomac. Can you see that, Detective?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's another jacket that was found over by Henry Tennant's belongings.
Yes, sir.
Let me show you a better picture. And I showed you Defense Exhibit 11, which is the green camo jacket, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. And this would be another jacket found where Mr. Tennant's belongings were, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And the tan jacket that I showed you earlier, which is Exhibit 12, that was found where Henry Tennant's belongings were in the garage, correct?
That jacket was found in the garage.
In the garage.
Mr. Orway indicated that that was his father's welded jacket.
Oh, okay. But you guys still collected it for evidence?
Yes.
And you bagged it and tagged it and you brought it over?
Yes.
Even though you knew that day that it wasn't connected with Henry Tennant at all?
He called back later and asked if he could have the jacket back. I didn't know that at the time.
Okay. But the sweatshirt that's framed in this courtroom was not found in the garage. It was found hanging in a closet inside the house where none of Mr. Tennant's belongings were, correct?
Mr. Tennant did have some items inside the house. Most of his stuff was in the garage.
But that particular jacket was hanging up in a closet.
Yes.
And that's State Defense Exhibit 13A, the jacket not found in the garage, found in the closet, correct?
According to this photo, yes.
Well, who took this photo? I didn't take it, Detective.
Neither did I.
Someone from your law enforcement agency took it, right?
Yes.
An evidence technician.
Yes.
Can you see anything else in that closet besides that jacket?
No.
Can you identify one other piece of evidence that would associate that jacket with Henry Tennant
I don't understand.
in that picture?
No.
On October 7th of 2022, you conducted a controlled call.
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what a controlled call is?
Control call is when we have someone make a telephone call to another person without their knowledge that it's being recorded.
And you had Jeremy Ordway call.
You want to be heard?
I need a moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
Rephrase the question.
Okay.
You found no evidentiary value in that phone call?
No, sir, we did not.
I'm going to move your attention to October 14th of 2022. That's when the blue truck was located.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that blue truck was located at Jimmy Jones's house, correct?
Yes, sir.
That was a friend of Henry Tennant,
That's correct.
not a friend of Mr. Fernandez.
No.
You have no evidence that Mr. Fernandez was ever at Jimmy Jones's house.
No.
Although Mr. Fernandez owned several rental properties in town, he did not own Mr. Jones's house.
No, we did not.
And while I'm pulling up some photos of that house, that home was never searched.
No, it wasn't.
So although the biggest break in the case was found, which is the blue truck, right?
Yes?
At a location that Mr. Tennant went to, because it was Mr. Tennant's friend, right?
That's correct.
You still had not recovered and have never recovered a firearm in this case, correct?
Correct.
You never searched that house.
No, we did not.
Never went inside.
No.
Never looked to see if there was a 10 millimeter in that home.
No.
I'm showing you, is it defense or state? Defense 56A. That's a photo of Mr. Jones's home.
Yes, sir.
That's where the blue truck was parked.
That's correct.
That blue truck has evidence in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Evidence was found at Jimmy Jones's home, correct?
The truck was found at his home. No other evidence.
You didn't look in the house, so you don't know, right?
There was no reason to search his house.
Other than the fact that the biggest break in the case was found at Jimmy Jones's house. Other than that, there was no reason to search the house.
We had records stating that the truck showed up at his house several months after the homicide. There was no reason to search the residence.
Several months after the homicide, you hadn't found the firearm, correct?
And there was nothing that pointed to Mr. Jones as a possible suspect.
But it pointed to Henry Tennant, right?
Yes,
And you did have evidence that Henry Tennant was at Jimmy Jones's house, correct?
that's correct.
You have evidence that Mr. Tennant chose to park the truck, which was the truck used in the ambush at Jimmy Jones's house, correct?
He asked after the truck was not operable, Mr. Tennant asked if he could have the truck towed there.
Right. And what you don't know is if Mr. Tennant said, hey, can you stash this 10 millimeter in your closet for me? You don't know that.
No,
And if he did ask, it could have been in his closet when he dropped the truck off, right?
I don't think that's true based upon, there's no evidence that suggests that that is true.
There is no evidence to suggest, because we agree that you never searched the house, right?
That's correct.
And had you gone in and had you found a 10 millimeter, there would be evidence, right?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Had you gone in and searched the home, there would be evidence that there wasn't a firearm, or there would be evidence that there was a firearm. But we just don't know today, right?
We did not search the house.
On February 8th of 2023, you pulled Mr. Fernandez over in a traffic stop, correct?
There was a traffic stop, yes,
And he was not arrested on February 8th.
that's correct.
You pulled him over because you guys got a warrant to get his cell phone device,
That's correct.
okay? And when you pulled him over, he was cooperative?
Yes,
He gave you the cell phone?
yes,
It was without incident.
correct.
You found no other evidence associated with this crime in his truck.
Correct.
You didn't find any large amounts of cash.
No,
You didn't find any disguises.
no,
You didn't find any additional passports.
no,
Nothing to suggest that he was on the run or he was attempting to flee.
No.
And in this particular case, he gave you the cell phone and he went on his way.
That's correct.
And you know that that cell phone, by way of your forensic investigation, is not the same cell phone that was used or that Mr. Fernandez owned on February 16th of 2022, correct?
Correct.
So it's a totally separate device.
Yes.
It had been about just short of a year by a few days when you collected the device from Mr. Fernandez via that warrant that we just talked about, right?
Correct.
Not unusual that a person could get a new phone over the course of a year, correct?
No.
It's not as if you stopped him like a week later and all of a sudden he had a new phone. It was a year later and Mr. Fernandez had a new phone.
Correct.
And then ultimately, you arrested Mr. Fernandez and he had another phone, but that makes sense because you took his other phone, right?
Correct.
You didn't even search the new phone because it had been so long and it was such a brief period of time. Is that my understanding?
Correct.
And when you arrested him, he didn't flee?
No.
He was cooperative?
I wasn't there during his arrest, so I can't say whether he was or wasn't.
Anybody report to you that he was uncooperative?
No.
It's on body camera?
I believe so.
You agree that Mr. Fernandez had moved to Orlando to live with his brother on, I don't know when, but he was arrested in March, and at some point before that he had moved, correct?
Yes.
The Marsh Inlet home had been sold.
That's correct.
Miss Gardner had already moved to Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez was not hiding out in Orlando, right?
No.
The news media had taken pictures of him in his driveway. Everyone knew he was in Orlando if you wanted to know, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, at some point you guys put a tracking device on Mr. Fernandez's car, correct?
Yes.
You knew exactly where it was.
That's correct.
And you have nothing to offer this jury that he was leaving or attempting to flee or anything of that nature. He was just living with his brother in Orlando.
That's correct.
Never switched his vehicle or his car.
No.
And then, of course, the day you got arrested, both days, let me just back up. The day you stopped him for his phone, he didn't know he was going to be stopped, right?
That's correct.
And the day he got arrested, he didn't know he was going to be stopped, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't find any large amounts of cash, correct?
When he was arrested?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
It would have been reported to you if he had like $100,000 in cash, right?
I'm sure it would have been.
If he had an additional passport that didn't match his name or identification, you would have learned that, right?
Most likely.
And of course, you didn't learn that.
No.
You didn't learn that he had any disguises or wigs or anything like that.
No.
He didn't have like a go bag in his car where if I had to find out that I was going to be arrested, I could jump on a plane and go with him.
I don't recall anyone mentioning a go bag.
Well, that would be good evidence if you found him with a go bag, right? Law enforcement would have been interested in that.
Yes.
And there's no evidence to suggest that he had a go bag.
No.
And lastly, I understand you're going to come back and you're going to talk about financial records, so I'll ask you about those later. But for today, you put up poll cameras at Marsh Inlet.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, we talked about poll cameras at Potomac.
Correct.
Nothing in all of the thousands or hundreds, no, thousands of hours that were recorded on the poll cameras at Marsh Inlet, you found nothing of evidentiary value.
No.
You never saw Henry Tennant go to Marsh Inlet, the residence of Ms. Gardner or Mr. Fernandez.
No. The poll cams were put up after that.
Well, the poll cameras were put up when you chose to put them up, but nonetheless, there was no evidentiary value of anything that you discovered at Marsh Inlet.
There was no evidentiary value that came from the poll cameras.
But you put them up for a reason so that you could try to collect evidence. That was the reason you put it up, right?
Partially, yes.
May I just have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any redirect? Okay. The jurors, you're good, right? We just came back, okay.
Sure. While Ms. Day is finishing getting set up, Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Detective Johns, I have an exhibit I want to show you. Mr. Dreiser mentioned this yesterday, and for the record, I'm marking this as States 9B. Can you take a look through these 3 pieces of paper, composite 9B?
While he's doing that, can we move those boots from Mr. Holman's
Sure.
table?
Detective, when you're done looking at them, let me know if you recognize them. Thank you.
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
These are license plate readers of the Ford F-150.
And are these license plate reader records that you received in conjunction with this investigation?
Yes, these were received from the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office.
And they're fair and accurately and kept in the regular course of business within law enforcement?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would seek to introduce, without objection from defense, state's composite 9B as the next numbered exhibit. I think it's 211.
Mr. Hathaway, is it 211?
210?
All right. Is there any objection?
No, we just stopped and talked about it and I stipulate.
Okay, so that'll be so entered, 210.
All right, Detective Johns. I know you've been on the stand a long time. I've got a couple follow-up questions for you based on what defense asked. The first thing I want to ask about is one of the last things we ended on, which is those boots and that jacket. In considering whether those are the boots and jacket you observed on video, did you also consider the physical appearance of those items when you collected them?
Yes, we did.
Does that include the size of the items?
Yes.
Mr. Dreiser showed you a picture of a welding jacket that you believe to belong to Mr. Ordway's father. Can you describe for the jury the size of that jacket?
It would have been significantly too small to fit Mr. Tennant.
And that's based on your personal observations of Mr. Tennant. We saw body cam footage of him yesterday. You describe his height and general build.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Dreiser asked you about not recording Kirsten Brightigan when you were telling her that her husband had been killed. And you testified on direct that you did so because you were giving someone bad news.
We were making a death notification of a wife, so we decided not to record it. And that was the only reason we decided not to record it.
When Detective Burrell and Detective Lamont went to the home of Mario Fernandez and Shanna Gardner on the night of Jared's death to notify them of his death, did they record that interaction with them?
No, they did not.
And is that for the same reasons you did not record your interaction with Mrs. Brightigan?
Yes.
Mr. Dreiser asked you about court filings in the family court case. And I'm not going to go through them at length or pull them up, but there were several filings that were written by Ms. Gardner's attorneys, correct?
Yes.
And in those documents, there was discussion about Mr. Brightigan and some statements that the jury can look at later that Mr. Brightingham was uprooting them and insisting the husband can't have timeshare. And you kept saying that is what the document says.
Correct.
Those are Ms. Gardner's words or her attorney's words, correct?
That's correct.
Do you have any way of knowing whether what she says in those statements is the truth or not?
No,
Documents are written by lawyers.
that's correct.
You sat through litigation in this case, and you know that there's a lot of filings, but a lot of action happens in the courtroom or in the halls of the courtroom that is separate from filings.
Correct.
So the docket may not necessarily reflect the tone and tenor of what's going on when they show up at court.
Correct.
Sister, I'll rephrase. I'm going to move to a PowerPoint. I'm going to start with the cell site slides that Mr. Dreiser asked you about. And you used cell site mapping to further your investigation, but are you an expert in cell site analysis?
No, I'm not.
Should I ask Agent Blythe these questions in more detail?
I'd be happy to try to answer them in the same manner that I did for Mr. Dreiser.
I want to ask you about two of the slides. This one, January 29th, which is page 19 of State's Exhibit 182. And I understand you're not an expert, but based on your investigation and your... Oh, sorry. So based on your review of this slide, does it appear there is some period of time in which Mr. Tenon and Mr. Fernandez devices overlap in the same area?
I'm going to object to you approach the court order.
Yes. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Johns, I'm not asking for an expert opinion by any means. Just in general, does this slide, in your estimation, show that there's some time where Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Tenon could have overlapped in the same geographic area?
Yes,
And that's on January 29th, 2022.
that's correct.
And then another slide from January 29th, 2022. This is page 32 of State's Exhibit. We can see here as well, does it appear, at least just generally, that Mr. Tennant's geolocation data and Mr. Fernandez's cell phone are in the same geographic area for some period of time?
Yes.
And I'm asking these because Mr. Dreiser went through these slides with you at length. This one is February 15th. This shows, and Mr. Dreiser asked you some questions about this, that Mr. Fernandez was, or at least his device, was in the area of 5239 Potomac Avenue for approximately, I would say, 27 minutes.
Yes.
And it appears at some point that, I'm sorry, I have the wrong slide, hang on. Here we go. February 15th in the evening, for a little less than an hour and a portion of this time, would you agree with me, or can you state with some confidence that Mr. Tennant's device and Mr. Fernandez's device appear to be in the same geographic area for some period of time?
Yes.
Now, in February 16th, 2022, Mr. Tennant was obviously driving that blue two-tone Ford F-150.
Yes.
I want to ask you about the license plate reader report that you just identified for the record. Is the light not on? Is this the license plate reader report for St. Johns County for the vehicle registered to Henry Tennant?
Yes, it is.
When you get a license plate reader report, does it include a photograph of the vehicle attached to the license plate, or that
Yes.
the license plate's attached to?
Yes, it does.
And in this license plate reader report, we see that Mr. Tennant's vehicle was in the vicinity of Northeast A1A and Ponte Vedra Lake Boulevard on January 29th, 3:37 p.m.
That's correct.
And in this picture, we can see that the tag is indeed attached to that blue two-tone Ford F-150.
Yes.
And that same date, we have another license plate reader from the same area, January 29th at 2:46 p.m., Racetrack Road in US 1. And a photograph here, we can see the tag is attached to Mr. Tennant's blue two-tone Ford F-150 vehicle.
Yes.
And here we can see, again, January 29th, 2:45, at Greenleaf Drive, Northeast Valley Ridge Boulevard and Greenleaf Drive. And that is, again, the two-tone truck.
Yes.
In any of these license plate reader reports, was there a photograph such that you were able to see who was in the vehicle?
No.
Was there a photograph such that you were able to see how many people were in the vehicle?
No.
But this lets us know that Mr. Tennant on January 29th was in his blue two-tone Ford F-150.
Yes.
Mr. Dreiser asked you about the media release of the photograph of the blue two-tone Ford F-150, and your testimony was it was released into the community, and upon questioning from Mr. Dreiser, you admitted that many people in the community, especially Jacksonville Beach, were aware the police were looking for this specific vehicle.
That's correct.
And these slides show that at the time period that Mr. Tennant was driving this vehicle, he overlapped for several significant periods of time at Potomac Avenue with Mr. Tennant while he was in possession of that blue two-tone vehicle.
That's correct.
Did Mr. Fernandez ever tell you during his interview or respond or give a Crime Stoppers tip or tell anyone that he knew his tenant owned a blue two-toned Ford F-150?
No.
I want to talk about your interview with Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Dreiser asked you some questions about statements Mr. Fernandez made about details of the homicide.
Yes.
And do you believe that the media had released information that there had been a tire in the road shortly after Jared Bridegan's death?
I do know a media report was done. I just don't remember the exact date that it was done.
Did you and investigators initially believe that Jared Bridegan had gotten out of his vehicle to move the tire before he was killed?
Yes, we did.
Was that information ever made public?
No.
I'm going to go through State's Exhibit. Or may I approach?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 91. It's some surveillance video Mr. Dreiser asked you about. And you testified that you believed on the second time that blue truck went to Pablo Hamlet that it pulled into the gravel lot at the Discovery School. Can you explain to me why you believe that?
Just based upon where you see the turning happening, it seems to be too soon to be turning onto the next street. Also, the next street only goes to the police station or the golf course. There's no exit onto a major highway.
This is State's Exhibit 91 that I'm publishing. That is the first time the truck left Pablo Hamlet prior to the homicide. Is that right?
I can't see them on the screen.
Oh, rats. I'm going back and forth between. Get this queued up. All right, so playing at 28:05. Was that the first time the truck left Pablo Hamlet prior to the homicide?
That's correct.
And this time should be actually 8 p.m. That's my fault. We see here the blue truck.
Yes.
And can you explain for the jury, and if you need to mark on the map, the geographic layout of what we just looked at and where this gravel lot is in relation to where 15th Street is and where that truck was pulling out.
So the area that we're,
Hold on, I can zoom in. This is
hold on.
State's Exhibit 208. Sorry, this is the world's worst mouse. All right, I'm gonna leave it like this. We're on 208. Detective, if you could show them what,
So the camera is actually coming from this Pablo Hamlet area. And then basically the gravel lot is about right here, which is basically on the side of the Discovery School.
at the time of this homicide, you've already, or I think someone previously testified, did the Discovery School have video surveillance equipment
They did not.
or working?
Well, they did have it, it just was not working.
Mr. Dreiser showed you what he deemed or described as a business plan of Mr. Tenen. Was that found during the search warrant at the Potomac House?
Yes, it was.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
This is State's Exhibit 197. And may I publish for the jury?
Yes, you may.
This is a composition notebook. Is this what was collected at Potomac?
Yes.
I'll show everyone the business plan. You all will take this back with you. And I'm showing you the last page. It's page 5 out of 6 with writing on it. And there describes some costs associated with the pallet business, and they are dated. Can you tell me the dates on this business plan?
The cost, or the sheet here is dated March 29th, 2020.
Thank you. Is there any indication during your investigation, through your discussions with Mr. Tenen's coworkers and boss at Monison Pallets, or a review of his financials, or review of that notebook, that he had a business plan in February of 2022?
Okay. All right. Response?
I can rephrase it.
All right. You may.
Did you ever find any evidence that Mr. Tenen had a current business plan in 2022 such that he bought equipment, or had reached out to vendors, or had filed any paperwork with the state?
No, I did not.
Mr. Dreiser asked you whether you had any evidence that John Biggerstaff ever possessed a 10mm firearm. You said no physical evidence. Did you have other evidence in the forms of statements on recorded wires, witness statements, that led you to keep investigating Mr. Biggerstaff?
Yes.
Did Mr. Biggerstaff have a gun cabinet still at his home when members of your team went to interview him?
Yes.
Did you speak to a witness, Mr. Fred Barton, in regards to Mr. Biggerstaff's activity with his firearms?
Well, a member of my team did, yes.
Did you receive information from the ATF regarding a police report filed by Mr. Biggerstaff's son, Juan Biggerstaff, regarding the serial number of the 10mm firearm?
Yes.
Did you receive a Google return for John Biggerstaff showing that he had Googled and searched 10mm firearms?
Yes.
And was that on January 25th, 2022?
Yes.
And that is one of the slides that was prepared for you by Agent Blythe, indicates that on January 25th, 2022, that Mr. Fernandez was in the vicinity of Mr. Biggerstaff's residence.
That's correct.
Detective Johns, when you're asked by Mr. Dreiser whether you have evidence of a specific conclusion, I guess, and you say no physical evidence, can you explain to the jury how it is you look at your investigation? Is it piece by piece? Can you describe to them how you view the evidence when making your determination of how to proceed as a homicide detective?
There's certain things that are a one-off or a conclusion, but a favorite cop term is a totality of the circumstances. So you look at everything, you can't explain things through maybe one little piece, but when you start looking at a big picture and you look at everything together, that is when you can start developing evidence that all kind of comes together and makes sense versus a one-off thing that maybe by itself doesn't mean much.
One of the last things Mr. Dreiser asked you was in regards to the recovery of the blue truck at 1705 University Street where Mr. Jones lives.
Yes.
Mr. Dreiser asked you that there is no evidence to suggest it's not true that firearm could be at Mr. Jones' house. Do you remember that question?
Yes.
Did you receive information during your investigation in 2023 that the firearm, in this case, was disposed of,
Yes.
and therefore not at Mr. Jones' house?
Correct.
No further questions.
Right. Mr. Dreiser?
Let's go in reverse order. Juan Biggerstaff, John Biggerstaff's son, is going to testify. Well, he's a listed witness. You know that.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think I heard you. When the state asked you where this gun was disposed of, it was Texas?
No. She didn't say that. She just asked if it was disposed of.
Are you talking about when Juan Biggerstaff, she asked you, wrote down the serial number of the 10mm firearm in Texas? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
You don't know who disposed of the firearm, correct? You don't have the firearm.
I do not have a firearm.
What she did ask you about was a serial number of a firearm that matched the description which Juan Biggerstaff, John Biggerstaff's son, reported stolen in Texas, correct?
Yes.
Mario Fernandez had nothing to do with that, correct?
As far as I know, no.
He didn't file the police report, right?
No.
He wasn't located in Texas, right?
No.
And then you learned that Juan Biggerstaff said he made a mistake and he wrote down the wrong serial number, right?
Yes.
Okay. The gun cabinet, that was evidence that you just suggested to the jury could be not physical evidence that John Biggerstaff had a firearm, because when they went to his house, he still had a gun cabinet. Do you recall testifying to that a moment ago?
Yes.
John Biggerstaff had an old, rusted out wooden gun cabinet that couldn't even shut on his back porch filled with garden tools. That's what you found at John Biggerstaff's house, correct?
Correct.
But the state, you didn't offer any of that information. It was just that an old gun cabinet. And Mr. Biggerstaff couldn't own scratch that last question. Mr. Biggerstaff couldn't own firearms, correct?
He was not legally allowed to have a firearm.
And that, the state of disrepair of the gun cabinet that they just asked you about was consistent with a gun cabinet that hadn't seen a firearm in about 8 years, right?
I have no way of telling that.
But it wouldn't surprise you if a gun hadn't been in there in 8 years, right?
I can't say.
People don't keep guns on their back porch, do they, unlocked?
Generally, no.
Yeah, generally no, right? And did you find a gun in the cabinet or did you find garden tools?
There was garden tools in the locker.
Okay. So now let's talk about the license plate reader that the state asked you about. You're right. It didn't have a picture of Henry Tenen in the car, right?
No, it did not.
You just used that information to determine that Henry Tenen likely could be in the car, and then you used the Google information to determine that we do believe it was Henry Tenen, right?
Yes.
You're not going to look at this jury and say it's not Henry Tenen, right? You believe Henry Tenen was in that vehicle.
Yes.
You just don't have a picture of him.
Correct.
But what license plate readers also provide is additional information that a vehicle was in the area, correct?
Yes.
And in the area is an area of Nocatee where there were lots of businesses, correct?
I'm honestly not familiar with that exact area.
You know that's where the gymnastics area was, right?
I know that Nocatee generally has lots of businesses.
Yeah, thank you. And you knew the time that the blue truck was there, correct?
Yes.
So that gives you an investigatory lead that you could then go and determine if there was any surveillance that could put Henry Tenen or Mario Fernandez in that blue truck, correct?
I don't understand your question, sorry.
You could take the location of the vehicle and the time of the vehicle, looking at State's Exhibit 210 that they just put into evidence, and you could say, we know he's in this area at this time, let's go see if there's any surveillance that we can now put Mr. Fernandez in that vehicle by other businesses with that information, correct?
There were no indications that he stopped and patronized a business in the area.
So you just didn't do it? You didn't ask any
Not what I said.
Did you ask one single business if they had any surveillance of a blue F1 Ford 50 around the time of January 29th in Nocatee?
No, I did not.
Today, going back to the gravel lot thing, you never saw the vehicle stop in the gravel lot, correct?
No, I did not.
So you don't know if it just kept going. Even if it pulled into the gravel lot for a second and you happen to be right in your speculation, you don't know that it stopped there, right?
I can't say how long it did or didn't stop there for.
And just so we're clear, the gravel lot is a children's school, correct?
Yes.
This is 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night, right?
Yes.
A random pickup truck sitting right in front of a children's school stopped for 2 hours is the length of time that truck would have been, that vehicle would have been there. Not a single person reported a suspicious vehicle inside of a school parking lot?
That area is actually very dark. It's on the side of the school. I don't know that anyone, you could probably pull in there and no one would even know that the truck was there.
Or someone could walk by and see a suspicious truck in front of the gravel lot in front of a children's school, right?
On the side.
On the side of the children's school, right?
Yes.
To get into Pablo Hamlet, you have to pass that road, correct?
Yes.
And no one reported a suspicious vehicle outside of a child's school at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night ever to you that entire night, correct?
That's correct.
And the other thing that the jury should know is that the gravel lot is about 400 or 500 yards closer to the police station from where it would be tucked in at Pablo Hamlet, correct?
I don't understand the question, sorry.
How far is the gravel lot from the police station?
It's fairly close.
So the truck moved closer. This truck was just involved in an ambush murder. We know that it hung out at the Pablo Hamlet for about 20 minutes prior to the homicide. We know this time it backed in and it pulled right out. Can we agree with that?
Yes.
And your speculation is that it pulled closer to the police station.
It pulled off the road
Closer to the police station.
by 25, 30 feet, yes.
You think it's 25, 30 feet from the cul-de-sac at Pablo Hamlet to where you think that car pulled out? You think that's 30 feet?
I don't know that I'm estimating, but it's not very far at all.
We saw it on video. That whole time the car drives out, you're telling me in this jury that you think that's 30 feet.
I don't know exactly how far it is, but it's not very far at all.
Nonetheless, you will agree at least that it's closer to the police station.
It is physically closer to the police station.
And it's also closer to a major intersection, 15th and Shetter, correct?
Yes.
And then lastly, on redirect, this morning you felt comfortable talking about the January 29th, and when Mr. Fernandez goes to Potomac, you were able to say that you felt comfortable saying they could have been there at the same time. Do you recall saying that?
Yes.
Those are your words, could have?
Yes.
Because you can't say that they were there at the same time, right?
Their devices were, two devices that belonged to those people were there at generally the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Let's break it down. Let's start with what we can agree on. When Mr. Tenon comes back after this dry run, you can say that for a period of time, the device of Henry Tenon was at Potomac when the device of Mr. Fernandez was at Potomac. You testified to that, right?
Can you show me the slide again?
Sure. Ms. Day, can you pull up January 29th slides? And let's go backwards. Let's start with the return.
Do you mind if I use the restroom while you do that?
Sure.
Okay. Members of the jury will take 5 minutes and we'll return back. Leave your notepads on your chair. All right, please let the record reflect that the jury has left the courtroom. Same rules apply, Detective. Court's in recess.
Your Honor, I would like to proffer a recross outside the presence of the jury when Mr. Dreiser's finished.
Okay. Me redirect, redirect, double redirect.
Yes.
All right.
Re-squared direct.
Okay.
Yes, that would be fine, Judge. I let Mr. Dreiser know I have 2 questions for redirect, but one that I want to proffer.
Okay.
And that is because,
You have more?
well, no, it would just be this one question, but I wanted to let court and counsel know, based on Mr. Dreiser's questioning of the firearm could be at Mr. Jones' house, you don't know, you've never recovered the firearm, it could be there.
Okay.
I would like to ask Detective Johns, because he's been instructed that we're not bringing in any of Henry Tennant's statements into this trial.
Okay. So Detective, again, a proffer is a situation where the attorneys ask you questions outside the presence of the jury. It's for admissibility purposes only, so you may or may not answer these questions again in front of the jury. You may proceed.
Okay.
Detective Johns, independent of what Mr. Dreiser was asking you about a police report involving the bigger staffs, in February and March of 2023, without saying where you got the information, did you come to learn that the firearm, or as part of your investigation, did you learn that the firearm used in this murder was disposed of in such a way that it was unrecoverable?
Yes.
So that's what I'd like to ask.
Any questions based on that? But no questions for him. I'm asking questions.
I know,
from your argument.
I'm thinking. Detective Johns, the information that the state's talking about is what you learned from Henry Tennant?
Yes.
Okay. That would be inconsistent with anything that you testified regarding the firearm being stolen in Texas, correct? Both things can't be true. It can't be disposed of in February or March of 2022 and then stolen in Texas, correct?
I can only testify to what I was told, and I'm only testifying to what one bigger staff reported.
Right? And what you were told is it was disposed of in such a way it was unrecoverable, correct?
Correct.
So then it couldn't be in Texas with Juan Biggerstaff, correct?
That's an inference.
You weren't told that the gun went to Texas.
That's correct.
You weren't told that the gun went to Juan Biggerstaff.
That's correct.
You weren't told that the gun went to John Biggerstaff.
Correct.
What you were told by a person who's no longer cooperating, who the defense has never gotten a chance to speak to, is that the gun was put into a junker's truck, correct?
A scrap metal truck.
Scrap metal truck.
Yes.
You just told me that you don't make inferences, correct?
I said you were making one.
You wouldn't feel comfortable making the inference that it would never be recoverable. Mr. Tennant never told you it was a scrap truck that could never be recovered, correct?
Based on the statement that he was made, I was answering a question, which was that he said it was put to a scrap metal truck.
That's it. That's all he told you. He didn't say anything about it being unrecoverable, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if you put it, you don't even know where in the scrap metal truck you put it, correct?
It was in a trailer of a scrap metal truck.
You don't know that. He didn't say a trailer. He just said he put it in a scrap metal truck, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if it was in the front seat, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea what happened to that firearm, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea that if that gun went to a scrap yard and it was being unloaded, that someone wouldn't have said, hey, there's a perfectly good 10mm firearm that's only a few years old. That's unusual to be in a scrap metal truck. You don't have any idea what happened to this firearm, right?
Correct.
So for the state to ask you that it's unrecoverable, all the questions I just asked you would tell you that you have no idea whether it was unrecoverable because you don't know, right?
I only know what Mr. Tennant testified to.
And the only thing you know is that he said he put it in a scrap metal truck.
That's correct.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, let me see you all at sidebar. All right, let's bring in the jury. So no, those questions are going to be asked by rule in the court. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Everyone may be seated. Mr. Dreiser,
Detective Johns.
give the jury just a second. All right, you may proceed.
Detective Johns, lots of questions, back and forth. I want to slow down and make sure we get some timelines correct, okay? The state asked you on redirect if Mario ever gave you any information, Mr. Fernandez, excuse me, gave you any information at his interview about a Ford F-150 truck. Do you recall those questions?
Yes.
And of course, he didn't do that, did he?
No.
When was Mr. Fernandez's interview with you? It was March 1st, 2022, correct?
Correct.
You didn't release the Ford F-150 to the media until March 9th of 2022, correct?
Correct.
So, Mr. Fernandez, had he told you anything about a Ford F-150 truck, he would have been making a serious admission to you that he had knowledge about the crime, correct?
I mean, if he could
It would have been pretty damning if Mr. Fernandez started talking to you about a Ford F-150 truck, two-tone color, driving around Jack's Beach on the night of the homicide, right?
He was also interviewed at a later date after the release.
But that's not what they asked you. They asked you if in that interview he told you anything about a blue Ford F-150 truck, and he didn't.
You did not.
And you hadn't released it yet.
Correct.
And then you told the jury, in response to other questions that the state asked you, about him saying he got out of the car, and that they asked whether that had been released to the media, correct?
Correct.
But Detective Burrell and Detective Lamont went to Mr. Fernandez's home on the night of this homicide around midnight. You know that, right?
Yes.
And they gave a death notification, correct?
Yes.
And in a death notification, people ask what happened, right?
I don't know anything one way or the other about their conversation.
Because you weren't there.
That's correct.
And you don't know what they said, right?
That's correct.
And it wasn't a big secret that he was shot and killed. Ms. Brightigan testified yesterday that they told her that he was shot and killed that night.
That's correct.
And he was found outside of his car.
Yes.
So that's not a big secret, right?
No.
And in Jack's Beach, the other question the government asked you is, did they record Mr. Fernandez and Ms. Gardner when they were getting their death notification? And your answer was no, right?
Correct.
That's because in Jack's Beach, you don't utilize body cameras, right?
No, we do not.
So there would have been no way to record it if they weren't wearing body cameras, correct?
We do utilize handheld recorders at times.
At times, but it wasn't recorded because you don't wear body cameras, right?
That would be a better question for Detective Burrell or Detective Lamont.
Just like knowing what in fact they told Mr. Fernandez, you weren't there for that.
That's correct.
But you were there when Ms. Brightigan learned that Jared Brightigan was shot and killed, correct?
Yes.
And you do know that Ms. Brightigan went to the Fernandez residence the next day, correct?
That's correct.
You have no idea what they talked about, correct?
Correct.
So this is not some foreign concept that Mr. Fernandez, 2 weeks after the homicide, may have known that Jared Brightigan was killed outside of his car because he got out and that he was shot and killed, right?
Correct.
I left off asking you about some slides. And I said I was going to go in reverse order, but nope, she has it pulled up. This is the slide of January 29th that the state asked you about, right?
Yes.
And you said he could have been there at the same time, right?
They could have been in the same space.
Could have.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to ask you is, they also could not have, because the location data isn't accurate enough to put them at the same spot at that time, right?
I can only attest to what is on the slide. I'll let Agent Blythe answer your technical question.
Okay, let's see what's on the slide. Henry Tennant's in black in geolocation, correct?
He's the red dot.
It's the red dot. Right, and it's showing at what time? 2:06.
Yes.
Let's back down below. At 2 o'clock, he appears to be in the area of Potomac, correct?
That's correct.
And at 2:06, he's even farther away from Potomac, correct?
Correct.
And then look all the way to the right under the call-out box. At 2:10, he's even farther away than from Potomac, right?
That's correct.
So with your limited ability to testify, Mr. Tennant is leaving Potomac, right?
Yes.
His device is.
Yes.
But I'm going to agree with you that we all believe it was Mr. Henry Tennant in that truck that went on that dry run, right?
Yes.
There's two different technologies going on. We're using geolocation for Mr. Tennant, and we're using cell timing advance records for Mario Fernandez, correct?
Correct.
That's why you can't necessarily tell exactly where Mr. Fernandez is, because he's moving between cell towers using timing advance records, right?
Correct.
So up top at 2 o'clock, all right, at the same time, you see where we said Henry Tennant was at Potomac at 2 o'clock?
Yes.
You see where Mario Fernandez is at 2 o'clock? He's inside that top band, right?
Yes, but there is potential for them to overlap. And that was what was questioned, asked of me.
I'm getting there. At 2 o'clock, they're not in the same spot.
There's no data for both of them at exactly 2 o'clock or between 2 o'clock and 2:02.
Right. So the point is, they could have been at Potomac at the same time, or they could not have. They may have been two ships passing in the night. You can't say one way or the other.
I'll let Agent Blythe answer that question.
Well, I'm going to ask you to answer that question. You felt comfortable doing it for the state. You said could have. So you're also agreeing that they may not have, correct?
Based upon the time lapse, it is possible, yes.
That there are two ships passing in the night.
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll see what Agent Blythe says, right?
Yes.
May I have one moment?
Yes.
No further questions.
Right. Anything further?
Yes, ma'am. I have 4 questions. Sure, yeah. Detective Johns, when I asked you about Mr. Fernandez, you did have an interaction with him after the media release of the truck. In fact, you spoke to him again and took a swab from his cheek on April 15th of 2022.
Yes.
Did he mention at all a blue two-tone truck?
No, he did not.
And that had been released in the media for a couple weeks at that point.
That's correct.
And we went through the slide earlier. I know Mr. Dreiser was asking you about January 29th, but February 15th, the jury can go back and look, and Agent Blythe will testify. There's at least 20 to 25 minutes where Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Tennant are together at Potomac the day before the homicide.
That's correct.
The surveillance in Nocatee he asked about. You all identified Henry Tennant as a suspect in this case in July of 2022.
That's correct.
When did you receive those LPR reports?
I don't remember the specific date.
Was it after that?
Yes.
And that was because you had no reason to look for Henry Tennant's license plate because you hadn't identified him or his vehicle up to that point.
That's correct.
And January 29th through July to August of 2022, is there much chance that businesses are going to have surveillance 6 months later? In your experience, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll lay some foundational questions. Obviously, you guys canvassed and collected a ton of surveillance video in this case.
Yes, we did.
And do you have experience in general, not from this case, but as a patrol officer and as a homicide detective in collecting surveillance cameras?
Yes.
Footage, excuse me. And generally, have you found in your experience that businesses or homes keep archived surveillance footage for that lengthy period of time?
Generally, no.
Mr. Dreiser asked you a bunch of questions about the car turning at Pablo Hamlet to the gravel lot that would make it closer to the police station at Jacksonville Beach. Do you remember that question?
Yes.
What else would turning into that gravel lot make that truck closer towards?
Mr. Fernandez's residence.
And then lastly, Mr. Dreiser had asked you about Mr. Tenon being at Marsh Inlet on January 5th because of his cell phone data, and he asked you about the significance of January 5th being towards the beginning of the month, perhaps something to do with rental payments. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
During your investigation, did you learn that January 5th, 2022 was a Wednesday date night?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, no further questions.
Okay. Anything further for this witness right now? Okay. Okay. Detective, you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You can step down. Also, Detective, before you go, the rules that I put into place about testimony at this point, you're now off the witness stand, so you can speak to the attorneys.
Thank you.
All right. However, the rule is still invoked. All right, thank you. Call your next witness.
The state calls Agent McStingle, Kenneth McStingle.
Good morning. Will you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, this way, Agent. Watch your step, okay? There's a slight incline. May proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself to our jurors?
Hello, my name is Mick Stingle. I'm a special agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
And while we speak, does that go by the acronym ATF?
Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. ATF.
Agent Stengel, can you please give the jury a brief background into your educational experience, training and experience?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I've been an ATF agent beginning in 2008, so approximately over 18 years. Prior to that, I was a probation and parole officer in Louisville, Kentucky. I attended the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, where I did a approximate 3-month criminal investigating training program there with an additional special agent basic training program of about 3.5 months. And that was up in Brunswick, Georgia.
What's your current position with the ATF?
I'm a firearms instructor for ATF at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center.
And if the jury's not familiar, can you describe what the ATF is? What organization, under what jurisdiction you operate?
Yes, ma'am. So we are under the Department of Justice. Our primary focus is violations of state and federal laws involving firearms crimes. So we will investigate armed drug trafficking, we'll assist with murders, pretty much any type of armed violent crime we like to assist our state and local partners with.
And where is ATF headquarters located?
Washington, D.C.
And what's your chain of command within ATF?
Currently, with my current chain of command is my branch chief, followed by our assistant special agent in charge, and then our special agent in charge. Then we have a deputy area director, and then our director.
And then does your director answer to the President of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
What made you want to join the ATF?
I realized early on I wanted to be in law enforcement. I wanted to be able to investigate crimes, and I thought about just doing in my local city where I grew up, but then I kind of realized that I would like the opportunity that if my investigation took me elsewhere, I might be able to follow it, and it give me a greater ability to follow the investigation.
Within ATF, prior to being a firearms instructor, what other positions did you hold?
I was a special agent, I was a criminal investigator, so I would just investigate crimes or violations of federal and state law.
The special agent is akin to a detective within the federal
Yes, ma'am.
agency. How are cases assigned, or how do you become involved in cases as an ATF agent that are not originating under federal jurisdiction?
Okay. We always try to work well with our state and local partners. So if we have, we know a detective working something, we'll offer our services, whether it be manpower, resource, any resource we can provide.
And currently you are a firearms instructor with ATF?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been a firearms instructor?
Approximately 2 years. Well, is my sole responsibility, 2 years. Other than that, I've received training since 2017.
In instruction?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you instruct other ATF agents and trainees on firearms?
Yes, ma'am.
And where's your current assignment?
Brunswick, Georgia.
I want to talk about your involvement in the homicide investigation of Jared Bridegan.
Yes, ma'am.
At the time, in February 2022 through, I will say, February or March of 2023 with the arrest of Mr. Fernandez, where were you located? Where were you, I want to say stationed, but where were you assigned?
Yes, ma'am. I believe I transferred down to Jacksonville. I believe it was in April of 22. Prior to that, I was in Louisville, Kentucky.
When you transferred to the local ATF office here in Jacksonville, when did you first become involved with this homicide investigation?
I believe that was in August of 22.
Was Henry Tenen already in custody on unrelated driving on suspended license charges when you got involved?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was some of your initial involvement in this case as an ATF agent?
Initially, we just met with the detectives from Jack's Beach and just kind of got read in or updated on what had all had taken place in the case so far. And then from there, we just started going out. We would assist with interviews, and started out with just a lot of interviews.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions about some of the work you did in this case. Did you participate in a search warrant of 5239 Potomac Avenue on October 6th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And we've heard a lot about that from other officers. Did you also participate in the recovery of a blue two-toned Ford F-150 on October 14th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that at 1705 University Street?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you some photographs. Can you verify for me that you can see them on that screen? Yes?
They haven't come up yet. Sorry.
I have a thumbs up from the jury. Let's see if we can do this.
No, sorry.
Touch your screen and see if that helps.
I drew a line. No, ma'am. Sorry. All right, now I have something.
All right.
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked and entered into evidence of State's Exhibit 130. Can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
That would be the residence located at 1705 University Street.
Okay, State's 131.
Same residence, just picture looks like it was taken from either the sidewalk or the street, and in the back left corner is the blue two-tone Ford F-150.
When you joined the investigation in August of 2022, Mr. Tenden was already in custody. What was the main focus of that investigation at that point?
We spent a lot of time trying to find that truck.
And did members of ATF eventually, using financial transaction records and cellular location data, zero in on the neighborhood where University Street is?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe for the jury, once you got a general area, how you all located the truck in this specific home?
Utilizing the Google location data, we drove to the area 1705, and once we essentially arrived at the residence, there we were able to see the truck from the street.
And in this photo, State's 131, is that fairly and accurately depict how the truck looked when you first arrived on October 14th, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the truck parked in the yard clearly visible from the street?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it covered up in any manner?
No.
Did you, or rather, did you assist in securing the scene while awaiting a search warrant from Jacks Beach Police Department?
Yes, I did.
Did you ultimately need a search warrant to enter that property?
We initially received consent for the yard, and but we ended up getting a search warrant regardless.
Was there a resident at this home?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was that?
Jimmy Jones?
And did you kind of take the lead on speaking with Mr. Jones?
Yes, I spoke with Mr. Jones.
And did he have any problem with you all coming onto his property and looking at the truck?
No issues, ma'am.
Was he cooperative with your investigation?
Very cooperative, yes, ma'am.
All right, State's Exhibit 132. I'm going to describe these for the record. This is the left side of the house and the back of the truck. State's 133. You see the back of the truck. State's 134. Was this license plate number verified on scene as matching the license plate number of the vehicle you were looking for, which was Mr. Tennant's father's vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
State's 135, we see the passenger side of that vehicle, and we see the tires.
Yes, ma'am.
In State's 136, in State's 137, front passenger headlight of the vehicle. State's 138, front driver headlight of the vehicle. State's 139, driver's side. State's 140, tires on the driver's side. State's 141, we see the bed of the vehicle. Was anything of evidentiary value found in the bed itself when you were on scene?
I don't believe so.
Was the truck sealed, meaning taped and towed to be processed at the Jacksonville Beach Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what we're looking at here in 142, these little evidence stickers showing it's sealed?
On the door, yes, ma'am.
Same thing on State's 143?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were at Mr. Jones' home, did you search the interior of his home?
No, ma'am.
Did he seem cooperative and open to you coming into his home and looking around?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
And did you take him up on his offer and go inside and search?
When I was talking with Mr. Jones, I was building rapport with him. I did not know the status of where we were with the search warrant, and I wanted to make sure we maintained consent with him. At one point, I offered to carry in some items for him, and at that point in time, I don't want to get into hearsay, ma'am.
That's fine, I won't. But there was the ability for you to go in there and search if you had so chosen.
A statement was made, yes, ma'am.
And you did not feel the need to do that?
At that point in time, no, ma'am.
And can you explain to the jury why?
I'd been there speaking with Mr. Jones for approximately 12 minutes at that point of total time. He was very agreeable. He was accommodating. The truck was wide open, visible from the street. I felt like he was being open and honest with us. At that point in time, we had never even heard the name. I had never even heard the name Jimmy Jones. It was the first time he had come up in our investigation, and we were really focused on the truck at that point in time.
Following the recovery of the vehicle, I want to ask you about ATF's involvement with a man named John Biggerstaff.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any role in investigating John Biggerstaff?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that involvement?
There was an interview that me and Agent Simmons conducted with Mr. Biggerstaff. There was also, during the course of our investigation, we learned that he was on pretrial release on a federal case. And as part of his pretrial release, he had to create an inventory of all the firearms that he possessed.
So when you're investigating Mr. Biggerstaff, did you and Agent Simmons obtain documents from the federal government showing that Mr. Biggerstaff had in fact purchased a 10mm Glock firearm and had filled out a federal firearms inventory as part of his release back in his felony case?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Agent Stingle, I'm going to show you it's been marked and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 191.
Yes, ma'am.
Take your time and look at that.
Wait a second. Okay.
Do you recognize these documents?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are these?
These are certified copies of 4473s. It's an ATF form that you complete when you are purchasing a firearm from a federal firearms licensee or a gun store.
And within those FFL E-Trace purchase records from the federal government, first of all, do they belong to John Biggerstaff?
The 4473s were completed by John Biggerstaff, and they detail the purchase of a Glock 10mm pistol on June 8th of 2016.
Thank you. And then I'm also showing you State's Exhibit 190. Do you recognize this?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you recognize that to be?
A copy of the inventory created by John and Juan Biggerstaff, detailing the firearms that he had as part of his supervised release, not pretrial release, supervised release.
And is this the federal firearms affidavit that you received as a federal agent during the course of this investigation, or a copy of it at least?
A copy of it was received by Agent Simmons.
And as a federal agent with ATF and former probation and parole officer, can you explain to the jury how a firearms affidavit works in the federal system? Do the federal agents come to your house and actually seize all your firearms from you?
No, that was something that was created by Mr. Biggerstaff.
And he has to file it to show he no longer has possession, but those guns can go to anyone who is not otherwise prohibited from having them.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you and Agent Simmons interview Mr. Biggerstaff?
I'd have to check the actual date. May I refer to my notes?
Yes.
November 18th of 2022,
And where did you and Agent Simmons speak to Mr. Biggerstaff at?
in his residence.
When you were at his residence, did you see any items that you would consider to be accessories for firearms, ammunition, or other weapons?
There was, he maintained a gun safe, or better described as a gun cabinet,
And where was it located?
on his back porch.
Can you describe for the jury what it looked like?
Again, it was more of a gun cabinet. I'd say a thinner metal. Usually a gun safe would have reinforced walls, maybe some fire retardant in it. This was just a cheap thin metal, about approximate, maybe a little over a foot in width, maybe 5 feet tall at best.
And was it consistent with, in your experience with ATF as a firearms instructor, something someone would store firearms in?
Yes, you could put guns in it.
More than one?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time you saw it, were there any firearms inside of it?
No, ma'am.
What was inside of it?
I believe it was gardening tools.
And was it appear new and in good condition, or how did it appear to you?
I don't believe it locked anymore. It looked pretty beat up.
So you interviewed Mr. Biggerstaff at his home in November of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
Was this part of your efforts with ATF to locate the 10mm firearm or that you believe to be involved in the homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your investigation and your conversations with Mr. Biggerstaff, was he ever able to provide you physically with a 10mm firearm?
No, ma'am.
Was he ever able to direct you to a witness that could provide you with that 10mm firearm?
direct me towards a witness, I believe they went in the direction of interviewing his son, Juan Biggerstaff.
And did you interview I'm sorry, I'm going to have to use their full name so we can differentiate on the record. Mr. Juan Biggerstaff, did you and Agent Simmons and other members of the team speak with Mr. Juan Biggerstaff?
Yes, but initially so did our counterparts in Dallas. ATF agents in Dallas also interviewed Mr. Juan Biggerstaff.
And why is it that you had counterparts within ATF interview him? Was he local or was he out of state?
He was living in Texas at the time.
Mr. Juan Biggerstaff.
Mr. Juan Biggerstaff, yes.
How was he employed in Texas?
He was a police officer. I believe it was at the Irvington Police Department.
And ATF agents went and spoke to him
Yes.
at his job in Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point after agents had spoken to Juan Biggerstaff and you and Agent Simmons spoke to John Biggerstaff, did you have the opportunity yourself to speak with Juan Biggerstaff?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you speak with him?
I believe we spoke with him in December of 22 when he came into the state attorney's office while he was in town on a trip.
At that point, had you had any success in locating the whereabouts of the 10mm firearm that Mr. John Biggerstaff had once owned?
No, we have not.
And you had agents speak to his son, Juan Biggerstaff.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you speak to a man named Fred Barton?
Yes, ma'am.
And still no information about where his 10mm firearm was located?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
When Juan Biggerstaff came to speak with you at the state attorney's office at the Crime Gun Intelligence Center, did you all ask him to wear a wire on his father, John Biggerstaff?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you explain to the jury what it means to wear a wire?
We gave him a recording device, which we actually gave him, I believe, 2 recording devices, one that was audio and one that recorded audio and video. We provided those to him, and then he went to his father's residence.
Was he willing to wear it?
He was, I would describe him as apprehensive, but willing.
And at the time that you asked him to do this, was he still employed as a police officer with the Irving Police Department in Texas?
I believe so.
Did you give him instructions on how he should conduct this conversation and how to work the equipment itself?
I believe we did. We would have told him how to work the equipment. I didn't personally give him instruction on what to talk about, but the point of the conversation was to try to ascertain the location of the Glock pistol, the 10mm.
Did you all ensure that Juan Biggerstaff could not contact his father before he actually met up with him in person while he was wired up?
I believe we did.
Once he went to his father's house and had a conversation with him, did you review the contents of the wire recording?
Yes.
Were there portions of the audio missing from that recording?
Yes, ma'am.
From that conversation, did it appear to be, well, what was the tone of the conversation without saying what was said?
Right. I don't believe Mr. Juan Biggerstaff was completely full.
Grounds. So as to the speculation, I'm going to ask that you just rephrase that it has to be his own personal knowledge, and I'll overrule the other.
And you're on the right track. I know you mentioned hearsay earlier. Without saying what they talked about, based on your training and experience as a special agent, what did you perceive the tone and tenor of that conversation to be? Did it appear to be flowing naturally? Did it appear?
It did not appear to be flowing naturally.
What do you mean by that? Again, without saying what they said.
Yes, ma'am.
To you.
trying to recall exactly. It just did not seem natural. I know I'm repeating myself. I apologize. It felt, let's see. The conversation presented itself as if that he was wearing a wire, that there was, it was hesitant.
Okay. You may proceed.
Okay.
Thank you. Agent Stengel,
Yes, ma'am.
your perception of reviewing that tape was it did not appear natural.
Correct. Asked and answered.
Okay. Sustained.
From that conversation, did you all obtain any investigative leads that helped you locate and physically recover that 10mm firearm?
No, ma'am.
In June of 2023, were you alerted by the same ATF agents who spoke to Juan Biggerstaff back in 2022 as to a police report that Juan Biggerstaff had filed in Dallas, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you obtain a copy of that police report and that investigation and relay that to your fellow teammates on this homicide investigation?
Yes, I believe Agent Simmons received the report of the report you're referring to. Yes. Yes, sorry about that.
Do you need him to repeat? Miss? Okay.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, may we approach just for scheduling purposes?
Yes.
My God.
All right, Agent.
Yes, ma'am.
The state has another question, okay?
Okay.
Agent Stengel, in your 18 years of experience with the ATF and as a firearms instructor, have you come across many 10mm firearms in the other investigations you've done as a special agent?
No, ma'am, this is the first.
And would you say that in your training and experience with the ATF and as a firearms instructor that a 10mm firearm is relatively unusual?
It is unusual, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now I am done. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Agent, we're going to come back after the lunch period to take up your cross-examination.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm going to instruct that you can leave in just a moment, but you are still considered to be on the witness stand, and you should not discuss your testimony with anyone, and that's including the lawyers. Do you understand this court's instruction?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You can be excused for the lunch period. Members of the jury, I have an unrelated hearing that I have to have in a separate case, so I need to kind of expand or lengthen. You can go ahead, it's fine. Lengthen your break. So I'm going to do an hour and a half, but if it kind of infringes on the staff's ability to have a break, it may be just a little bit longer, but know that it's not the parties that sit before you right now that is the delay. It's this court's schedule with the other case, okay? But I will try to be as on time as I can. It is 12 o'clock now. We will come back in session on this case at 1:30 or as close as I can get to it, okay? Leave your notepads on your chair. Enjoy your lunch.